Hey, Kristin.
Hey, I'm here with Rome and Mica from the Fast Lane Cars and Trucks.
Yep, and off-road, and now.
He's one of my favorite experts on trucks and cars.
Well, that's very kind of you.
You should definitely watch his videos and subscribe. And so I wanted to pick your brain a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
We are here at the Yukon reveal.
Yes, in my home state of Colorado, so I'm super happy to be actually someplace that I don't have to get on a plane to. So it makes my life a lot easier.
That is a great thing.
Yeah, it is a great thing, yeah.
And right now we're sitting in the Sierra.
Yes, we are.
Sierra Denali, and the Denali and the AT4 trims are really kicking it for GM.
That's what the marketing guy said. I don't know, they always, when they do a marketing presentation, as an old journalist, I always take it with a big grain of salt, right? They're not going to be like, hey, our sales are down 38%, right? They're going to be like, we've sold more trucks than the history of the world, which is kind of the speech we got this morning. But yeah, they've got basically two sub-brands now. Denali, you guys know, right? That's the upper end trim. And now they've created a new one, or they're in the process of creating a new one called AT4, which is the big burly off-roader. Because you guys like off-roading.
Yeah, they do. It seems like a lot more people like off-roading than ever before.
Yeah, what happened was like 10 years ago, social media became a thing, as you know, right? And everybody was like, hey, I'm here at the Grand Canyon, I'm here at Bryce. Wouldn't it be great if you could be here? And so I think what happened was all that social media kind of drove the need for adventure in people. And that, of course, led to more off-road worthy vehicles that could take you not just where the pavement ends, but much farther beyond it.
Yes, actually, that reminds me, kind of an off story, but there is an organization called Sundit. Katie Shao's brother died of this rare cancer several years ago. And so what they do is, in his name, they take people on adventures, off-road, camping, surfing, cool. Everything, like young adults who are fighting cancer.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. More power to them. Yeah,
so being in the outdoors is good for you, which is one of the reasons that we're here in Vail. And I'm curious to know what you think of the new Yukon. What do you think they're doing with it? What is it going to do for the Yukon? And what's new?
Well, so the Yukon and of course the Tahoe are brother sister trucks. I don't know what you want to call them. Cousins, yeah. One's GM, one's GMC, and the Tahoe was unveiled like a month ago now, maybe 3 weeks ago, and so to me, these trucks, along with Lincoln, of course, are kind of quintessential American SUVs, right? So whenever I think of a Tahoe or Yukon, I think of like a presidential procession, right? These big black limousines. And people love that. We're all about double XL stuff here in America because we've got long stretches of highway that you need to cover. And so I think GM knows that, and I think they actually doubled down on that. So, more room, more engine choices. They finally went to an independent rear suspension. They went to air suspension along with their kind of fast-acting shock absorbers to give it a little bit better ride. Their GMC is trying to be more off-road worthy with the AT4 brand, right? So you've got GMC over here, and you've got the Denali, and then AT4 is a new sub-brand. But honestly, you got to be more than like red hooks to go seriously off-roading. And so I'm not sure about the serious off-road cred of the new trucks. We'll have to take it off-road and see. Did you go on the course that people are running behind us?
I took the course with those behemoth trucks that have the tank tracks on them. Okay,
but you didn't do the Yukon yet.
Not yet. I got to ride, but not drive.
Okay. And how was it? They had a little course where you got to go up and over kind of some containers and test out the air suspension, and then see how the new traction control system works.
It seems to work pretty well. I like that it has a 1-inch and a 2-inch suspension choice.
Yeah.
And that it works automatically. They really are trying to make it so that you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
So the drivers can just go.
Yeah, so I was talking to one of the engineers, and he said that there's a 4-inch difference, which is a lot.
That's a lot.
When you think about the lowest setting and the highest setting. So there's like an entry mode, so when you pull up to your mom's house and she can't quite get into this behemoth, it kind of lowers itself. And then when you go off-road and there's a river crossing, it raises itself up. It's cool. It's nothing new. Land Rover has been doing it forever. A lot of vehicles now have air suspension. We have a Touareg at the office from 2004 that has it. It goes up to 14 inches. So it's nice that these big trucks are doing it. I'm not sure it's groundbreaking. What is groundbreaking, I think, is that you can get a 3-liter diesel in the new Yukon, which is really cool.
That's really cool.
I've driven it in the Sierra, and I think GM has really done a good job with that straight six. It's nice to have that option. So if it were me, that's probably the one I'd get. Of course, you've got the 6.2 with 420 horsepower, 460 pound-foot of torque. Right, that's a big American V8.
Definitely. I mean, it's a lot of truck. GMC is focused on, they're really focused on their trucks and their SUVs and the premium offering. And as you work your way up through the brand, you get more and more towing capabilities. I was really impressed with the HD towing capabilities. Yeah,
they had, just over my right shoulder, they have trailer with a snowcat on it. And I talked to the chief engineer, and he said that's 30,000 pounds of trailer and snowcat that you could hook up to the Denali dually, which is pretty impressive, you know, for a long time. So if you guys are into, as what GM calls trailering, what I like to call towing, maybe it's less
straight towing.
Yeah, maybe it's a little bit less intimidating if you call it trailering. But for a long time, GM and GMC kind of didn't get into the towing wars, right? They had a vehicle that could tow a maximum of 24,000 pounds with the top Duramax, and then of course Ford and Ram were at 30,000 pounds. And then last year, I was going to say this year, but it is last year.
Right. Yeah, 2020.
Yeah, GM decided that they were going to go and play in the big boy lot, and decided to, you know, put down some big numbers. So they're also up there above 30,000 pounds of towing capability.
Yeah, and the reality is, I mean, most people aren't going to tow 30,000 pounds.
Well, you can't without a CDL.
Well,
so
there is that.
There's that, yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it's nice to know that you can. And if you wanted to upgrade to a bigger trailer, camper, I mean, I come from Elkhart, Indiana, the RV capital of the world. Big trailers.
Yeah, you know, it's also about bragging rights, right? Even though, you know, without a CDL in most states you can't go above 26,000 pounds, the fact that the truck can do it is something that might sway a buying decision. And I think GM finally acknowledged that by, you know, taking this latest version of the Duramax and actually giving it that kind of capability.
I've heard once that people buy trucks according to what they want it to be able to do, or what they think they could do, not necessarily what they're going to do.
I thought it was by color.
By color.
I like the red one.
I like red. I like black.
No, you're exactly right. I'm joking, but yeah, I mean, it's like anything else, right? Same thing with going off-road. You're never probably going to use the vehicle's full capability, but it's knowing that it can do it, right? I was at a press event in Nashville, Tennessee, and I saw this really beautiful Jeep, right? It was built really well done, right? So big tires, good lift, just looked like somebody knew what they were doing. And I walked up to the girl who was driving it, and I'm like, "Hey, I love your Jeep. It's really great. How is it off-road?" And she looked at me like, you know, I was like,
"That's
what?
a travesty.
Why would I take this off-road, you idiot?"
I would get it dirty.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, you're right. It's you know, it's about what the perception is, not always what the reality is.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Red tow hooks, those are serious.
Red tow hooks.
I'm being sarcastic.
Last point, yes, red tow hooks. Well, they look good.
Look, the Yukon, we got to take it off-road. We got to see, you know, if their trick rear differential actually does something more than just sell more trucks. And you know, there's an acknowledgement on the part of GM, I think, with the Yukon and with the Tahoe, that most of the people spend most of the time on road and not off-road. So do you want to go build a truck for the 10% of the time that somebody may take it off-road, or the 90% of the time that they take it on-road, you know?
Right, and that could be a tough balance, right?
That could be a tough balance. Hummer tried that, and you know what happened there.
I remember. Well, I think it's about confidence, and when you're instilling confidence in the drivers, you're going to sell more.
No, it's about like big, burly tires. And
You've been in Texas too much, I think, Roman.
You know, they sell 1 out of 4 trucks in Texas. You knew that, right?
Yes.
It's incredible. Yeah. What are you guys doing down there with all those pickup trucks?
Having a good time.
Having a good time.
All right, well, that was Roman Mica. Don't forget to subscribe to his channel, The Fast Lane Truck and The Fast Lane Car.
Yep.
And we appreciate you coming on with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a hoot.